Hey, what's going on? This is GA Sports. We're back again with another pod. I got Rees and Bob with me. And today we're going to talk about everything EPL. The season ends this Sunday. We have a lot to talk about who's going to make the Final Four, who's going to be relegated, and what's going on in the FA Cup. But before we do that, I'd like to remind you guys that you can follow us on all the social media platforms at DJ Sports Podcast. You can reach us for questions at djsportspod@gmail.com. Hit us up for any questions you have, and we'll answer on the show. And let us know how we're doing. Appreciate any feedback. But before we get to the soccer, we have our beer segment. As always, this is going to be an interesting one because Bob has a truly. We have some Golden Road stuff.
Interesting or less interesting, whichever way you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you really like Trulies, I guess.
What are you trying to? Dad's already talking down on my Truly.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying you have a Truly. There's nothing wrong with the Truly.
Yeah, for people who don't know what a Truly is the competition to a White Claw. The hard seltzer. I don't know. Have we done a Truly before?
Yes, you've done it truly before.
I feel like we have.
Truly, bro.
I'd be surprised if we did it.
Yeah.
So I have the Golden Road Hazy LA IPA. Let me take a sip.
Wait, why is my camera
just
flipped?
going after it?
So
Why is my camera flipped? Whatever.
I don't know. That's really interesting. I like the can. I like how it's like a background of downtown LA. That's really cool. You know, obviously as a native, a little biased to that. But taste wise, I'm enjoying this. You know, not just I've been on record on the show saying I'm not the biggest IPA fan, but this is actually really, really smooth and it has a good taste. You know, I gotta say that it doesn't have like this usual bitterness of like most IPAs or like where it's like bitter to the point where you don't enjoy it. But I like this a lot. What do you think, Reese?
Yeah, pretty much same exact thing. There's like not a whole lot of aftertaste with it, which is I like that with IPAs because that's normally what gets me. Like the bitterness, like when you're actually drinking it, I feel like you can kind of expect that when you're drinking beer and stuff like that. I actually prefer that when I'm drinking beer, but without any aftertaste and stuff like that. It's like I feel like you can actually like drink this and not need to like down a full like 24-ounce water afterwards. So.
Bob, how's it truly?
Solid. Does what it needs to do. I got a pineapple, one of my favorite. So I'm living good over here. Are we doing the numbers still?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So my Truly will be a solid 6.0.
Oh, damn. I thought for sure you were going to go like 10.0 for your Truly.
6.0 for your favorite Truly?
That's
Not my favorite. It's one of my favorites.
All right.
So what would your favorite Truly be? Like a solid 7?
No, that's a 8.5. The lemonade, like black cherry lemonade ones.
The black can?
Yeah. Those really are great.
All right, Dad, what you got for this beer?
I'm gonna say it's a 7.5. It's a good IPA. I'm enjoying this. Definitely something you drink like during the day. So a day drinking beer.
Yeah. I was gonna say, given the can on it and everything, can I keep doing my weird ass ratings? I think I did like 7.1 last time. I'm gonna go with I like you said, dude. I actually really fuck with the can, even down to I don't know if you can see it, but they got traffic on the road right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not an empty roadway right there. So
Really nice.
honestly, I'm gonna go a little above 7.5. I'm gonna go with 7.7. We'll go with 7 today. Yeah.
Bob, quick question before we get to it. You like Trulies over White Claw?
Definitely. I've switched over, especially the lemonade ones with a little juice in it. Makes it better. I'm not much of a seltzer fan.
What is it for you with the Trulies? Is it because there's more flavor in them that you like them?
Yeah, they add a little more like juice, not like more sugar because it's still like 100 calories and like 1 gram of sugar, but the like 1% juice they add in it makes it a lot sweeter.
I didn't know that was just juice. I just figured it was more sugar and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm not the biggest seltzer fan either, but I like how Truly has like more variety of flavors and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damn. So I'm outnumbered here because I'm definitely more White Claw. I've always liked White Claw more because like the lack of taste. Like if I'm gonna go for like a seltzer like that, I don't really want like a syrupy flavor in it and stuff.
That's fair. I mean, it's not like the Truly has that much juice in it. It's just like it's a small amount. It's still not like a lemonade drink where it's
If
all
I'm gonna
quippy.
if I'm gonna do one of the White Claw competitors, it's definitely Truly.
Yeah, there's like these other random ones like
Yeah.
Corona or something or
Did you
Smirnoff.
guys wait? Have you guys ever tried the Bud Light seltzer?
No,
I had one. Yeah,
I
it
heard
wasn't
that one
bad.
is really good.
Yeah.
I got
Let's get
recommended
into
by someone to do a top four seltzers.
Wait, oh, dude, you're. Yeah, I was laughing so hard at your top four water when you sent the picture of all the waters and the groups. Dude, just walking through the store and one of those, one of those, one of those.
Yeah, that's literally what happened. It was one of the most requested ones, so I had an
Yeah,
experiment. I can't just do a blind.
dude, that shit was so funny.
All right, let's get to it. So today we had a couple of massive games with United, but we're gonna get to them second. First, I want to talk about Liverpool. Today we played Chelsea in what was an extremely high scoring game, in where both defenses, wasn't a game that they're gonna remember or want to talk about, but entertaining nonetheless. We won 5-3. We were up 3-0, and they made it a game. They cut it to 4-3, and we pulled away with the late Trent Alexander-Arnold goal. So when I don't know how much of this game you guys caught, but just looking at it, Chelsea side, what besides obviously Kepa, what do you think they need to improve on?
I mean, I, I worry about, or I think I kind of talked to you guys about this earlier, where like I kind of struggle to harshly criticize like the rest of the defenders when they have Kepa behind him because like as a defender and stuff like that, like when you have no confidence in your goalkeeper like that, I feel like it really, really fucks with you, and it could like completely destroy that back line, because they don't like. I'm not saying that they're the most talented back four, but I feel like they're not that bad. Like Rudiger's talented, Rees James has been pretty impressive and stuff like that. I mean, they have Aspilicueta and Marco Alonso, so they have a lot of options back there. But I mean, Kepa's save rate and everything going into his goalkeeping skills has been pretty atrocious. So I feel like until we see a different keeper back there, it's going to be hard to understand which pieces of that back line they got to like really spend money on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like I,
100%. Yeah. No, I was gonna agree with Reese. Kepa does seem like he seems like he does everything wrong in goal, and not even putting his arms up at times where it just looks like super weird. So once they move on from him, I think they could start seeing improvements on that defense. But until then, it's going to be hard to have any good defense.
Do you think that they should like completely move on, try to sell him, or do you think they should just
Yes,
bring in like make him like the cup keeper and bring in a guy to handle Premier League games or what?
it depends on how much money they're dealing with. Maybe put him out on loan and get some money that way. But I don't know if they could. I think Caballero can do a better job than what he's doing right now. That's for sure.
He should definitely be given more of a chance this season. That's for sure.
Yeah.
so like I said in the group chat, Chelsea's given up, I believe, 54 goals this year, which is, I checked, I think the seventh or eighth most, and by far the most of any top five, top seven team. I believe, like, out of the big clubs, like only Everton gives up more goals than Chelsea. So, um, I think it's a whole problem in the defense. Obviously, Kepa's probably the biggest factor because he is the keeper, but I don't know how much of it is all on him. There's probably some blame to go with the defense and along with Lampard. Like maybe he needs to change the system up next season because the way they're playing right now is just leading to more goals being scored against. But then again, like Rees said, having a mentality of having confidence in your keeper, could change the entire team. But we'll see how they do with a different keeper next year.
Yeah, we'll see what Lampard wants to do with him. I mean, besides their defense, they look pretty solid. Their midfield and I mean, especially their attacking. We talk all the time about Pulisic and what he could do, and he balled out today. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they have some other positive things to make them happy. They just gotta figure something out about their keeper.
Right. I was talking to one of my friends who's a Chelsea fan during the game, and he said that they're just gonna get all black or Onana, and things will be okay. What do you guys think are the odds that Chelsea can grab one of those guys?
I think probably more likely to get someone like Onana, but obviously a little bit more of a risk playing in the Dutch league instead of the Eredivisie, instead of a proven keeper who's been playing Champions League for so long and La Liga at like the highest level. But honestly, I feel like whichever keeper they want to get, like whichever keeper they rate higher and stuff like that, and they're willing to spend the money on, freaking go for it. Like kind of how Bobby and I were saying, like Caballero, he's a good keeper. They can probably get a little bit of money for him, actually. Just it's not going to be anything special, but you're not going to need him next season if you're buying another keeper, and then go buy a center back, And then I think that team's pretty figured out with adding Hakeem Ziyech and Timo Werner and stuff like that. It's like
Their
they got it kind of figured out right now.
their attack should be deadly next season
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, before we get to the next point, I wanted to.
All right, close my window. Getting too loud. My
I wanted
crazy.
to talk about Christian Pulisic because, in addition to having a good, good start before the break in the pandemic, he's been absolutely on fire since the restart. He's arguably looked like their best player on the field. Today he as soon as he comes in, makes an immediate impact. He dribbles through four Liverpool defenders, drops a perfect pass to Tammy Abraham for a goal, and then he scores another one like 15, 20 minutes later. So let's just talk about Pulisic and just how do you guys feel watching him play right now?
Love it. Absolutely love it. He should be kind of like I said earlier, he should be the first name on the team sheet for Frank at this point, The difference that he makes in that team. Like obviously you can argue some other guys have better quality and stuff like that, but just the spark that he brings to that team is a little bit different right now. And I'm sure Frank will be having a nice little talk with him before that game on Sunday about how big it is. So
Right.
Yeah.
But did you guys think he was even gonna like take off like this year? Like I was excited about him, but I don't know if I expected it to be like
that's
that.
exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like looking at the beginning of the season, we all thought he was gonna get his chances here and there, but not definitely have the type of season that he's had. So it just gets me more excited for next season. It's gonna be I wonder what his role is gonna be with like Timo Werner and all these other guys coming in. See if he can get more like a consistent role because he definitely deserves it, right? So
yeah, they have so many like attackers coming in next year. They're gonna have a lot of depth on that team. So, I hope that Frank doesn't lose confidence in him if he has a bad stretch and he gets buried again on the team sheet. Because they're gonna have so much talent on that team next year. He's gonna have to be consistently good.
But even if I feel like competition like that, especially at this stage in his career, dude, oh my gosh, the sky's the limit with this guy because if you think about his career growth and like him at Dortmund and him making the breakthrough at Dortmund the way that he did and like with such a good club playing Champions League football and stuff like that, like that was an incredible opportunity. And then he gets to transfer to Chelsea, and in his first season here, it's like, oh shit, okay, that like he might be the guy, and Chelsea fans are starting to realize that. And then boom, right before he can get comfortable of like being like going into the next season as like the potential star of the team, he's got all of this competition where if he goes through kind of like how you said, if he goes through a bad stretch like that, like he's not going to have his starting spot even anymore. And it's not going to be a walk in the park for him. He's going to have to like work extra hard in practice and stuff. And this is going to be so much better for his development that he's going to be playing with like some of the best wingers in the world on one of the best teams in Europe and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. This guy's development is just going to go through the roof at this point. So
Yeah, he's only 21.
I mean, yeah, they always say pressure makes diamonds, right? So,
yeah, so true.
There you go. There it is.
Bobby, that was the too long don't read what I just said.
Iron sharp as iron, right?
Yeah. So I'm excited for him next season, seeing how he handles all of that. It's just another challenge for him.
So just some stats out there. He started 18 games in the Premier League, 9 goals, 4 assists, 1650 minutes, 26 shots on goal. So the immediate impact is there. He has 1 goal and 1 assist in 3 games in the Champions League.
That's in 18 starts? Or is that games played?
For the Premier League, 18 games started. Yeah. 9 goals. 9 goals, 4 assists. I would just like to take a second because we passed on it. Just talk about Liverpool raising the trophy. I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but we had kind of an interesting setup with no fans in the stadium. Obviously, we had like a little platform. Rees just left. There was a little platform. We had like a nice little celebration. The production was well done. There was like lasers, music playing. Did you guys catch any of this? No?
I didn't catch any of that. I turned it off right after the end of the game. Once I saw them gathering together, that's exactly when I turned off.
I went to the park in the 56th minute because I couldn't fucking bear it.
Well, you guys
almost turned it off. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna turn it off once it hit 4-1, but thank God Pulisic came in and made it interesting. Because that last 15 minutes when it was 4-3, I had a thought you guys were gonna pull it through and get a couple more goals.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how Sachin's not here, but yeah, I was.
Yeah, I meant Chelsea, obviously.
I was definitely that was honestly a huge 15 minutes because Chelsea needed those points really badly.
Yeah.
And they made the game interesting. Credit to them. Our defense not our best. Feels like we've been sleepwalking honestly since the restart, but that's neither here nor there. Trophy celebration was great. It was cool seeing everybody get their medals. We had the music playing. Wish there was fans in the stadium. Wish we could get the parade too. Have a proper celebration. But what are you gonna do?
Hey, Klopp still promised a parade. He said whenever it's feasible, there will be a parade. So
yeah. This bullshit coronavirus. I would like to talk about the FA Cup and City, United, Chelsea, Arsenal. But Bob, why don't we talk about that Arsenal City game? What happened? What happened there?
Not much to look into that game, to be honest. It was just one of those typical City games where we come out flat, but we're still dominating the whole game. We had our shots on goal that we just couldn't finish. It's starting to become like a common thing with Jesus and like these like not really important games that he just doesn't really do much. He just floats around and kind of just plays the motion. So, but yeah, even Pep said like if we want to beat Real, we have to show a lot more. So, I mean, hopefully that makes the players a lot more, motivated. But yeah.
Was this
Arsenal?
Was this more of like a shit show City performance or like props to Arsenal?
No, props to Arsenal. They played the game perfectly. I mean, their manager knew exactly what we were doing, and he had them in the right spots, and they played their game plan perfectly. So I mean, shouts out to them. David Luiz was playing for pride, and for anything that he thought that was like worthy for him. So
Yeah,
yeah,
if you think Kepa was getting shit, just look at
he
David
yeah.
Luiz.
After I was gonna say after the game, he said like this was pretty much all for all the haters talking this last couple of weeks after what happened the first game when we played. So
I can't fucking understand that guy.
He's an
Like,
he
idiot.
played an
why
amazing
can't he
game.
just like pull that shit? Like he's not terrible. He was like really fucking good at one point. And then he got
Yeah.
destroyed 7-1 by Germany, and then it's just like his whole fucking life fell apart, you know?
Yeah. Um, that's Bob. Before we move on, how are you feeling about that Real game? Because it's coming up about 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah. I feel good. I wish we had Aguero set. It's kind of unsettling not having him just because he's so clinical. But I think De Bruyne and Raheem are really setting up to be ready for that game. They're the ones that are gonna make it happen. So
How's your
yeah,
defense looking right now?
we don't talk about our defense when we're talking about City. But I think we're gonna go with Laporte and I always mess
Garcia?
up his last name. Yeah, Garcia. So I think Garcia's been showing up, and he doesn't make a lot of errors like Otamendi and Stone. So I think if we just play sound defense and not play anything too wild, we'll pull it out.
You think
Uh,
Pep like found his best 11?
Yeah, I mean with a couple, he always likes tweaking like his attacking, but like the back four is pretty consistent with Mendy at left back and Walker at right back, and then Laporte and Garcia as a center back. But like for sentiment, he switches up, Gundogan or Rodri with De Bruyne and David or Fernando.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's got options.
It'd be
Speaking of
interesting.
speaking of Sterling, I feel like he's been really in form since the restart. Every time I look, he's scoring at least 2 goals a game. So
He,
Yeah,
he's gonna have to step
he,
up.
he's been in form all season, honestly. You got to give him credit. Like ever since game one, he's kind of been on fire, right?
yeah. He had a pretty bad dip in the middle of the season for
True.
like 3 weeks where he didn't score anything. But besides that, he's been on point, and the fact that he's been able to do it like all over the pitch, like he's been on the right wing, on the left wing as a false nine. So like I think that's pretty impressive on his part because like that's not really easy being able to play different areas and know where the space is and still be able to score goals. So shows how true number 7, I think.
I was gonna say he's a goal away from 30 on the season, which is, I mean, I would say that's pretty damn impressive for
Mm-hmm.
even like you said, having the dip that he had and stuff like that. He's a goal and assist away from 30 and 10, and he's got one Premier League game and Champions League left, so
For sure.
All
could
right.
could be solid for him.
So next thing I want to talk about is you stay with the FA Cup, the other semifinal. United had a tough loss to Chelsea, 3-1. Reese, just what went wrong in that game? Because that was just not United's best, needless to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of echoing what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the players said after the game. It was just it had to come at some point. We were on a nice little streak, nice little unbeatable streak and stuff like that, and it had to come at some point. I wish it wasn't so ugly. I wish we put up a little bit more of a fight and stuff like that. But I mean, they were just better than us that day, and I think United. I don't even know if it was really Chelsea beating United. I think to a point it was United beating United, and I mean Chelsea obviously took advantage of every single opportunity and they took their shots, and I don't know. It was just a shitty day all around. And
Right.
Definitely one of those ones that the players and the man, like I doubt Ollie probably wiped all the tape, didn't even look back on that, just said, all right, let's move the fuck on. Let's just get past that one,
Right, right.
It's one of those games.
Yeah, they might be looking ahead to the Premier League games that they had to face, but I want to say like Chelsea might just be a bad matchup for United because, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the fourth loss you guys have had to them this season.
Mm-mm.
No.
No, we had beaten them every single time this season.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so that was our first loss to them, but every single time. So the first game of the season was a bit of a like a wild card, if you will. It's anything can happen on that game and stuff like that. But the other two games, one was a cup match, and the other one was the second Premier League game. And I think in both of those games, we went ahead and switched to like a back three to play them because we were using a back three to play like Sheffield United and Wolves and stuff like that at the time. And the back three just confused the shit out of Frank. So it was a little bit of a like going into the game, there was a lot of jokes about like, oh, Ollie three, like Frank zero. And I was one of the guys like saying that, like how Frank can't beat Ollie and stuff. But I think it was a little bit of unlucky from like Chelsea's perspective in that like case because like I said, they got caught off guard with a few tactics that were completely unexpected. You couldn't blame them for not, preparing for that. And then the first game of the season. So it was what it was. I think those two teams next year is going to be really exciting because they're going to be on the come up. It's going to be like Liverpool City and then Chelsea United. Like both, they're going to be like right there.
Right. And that might be the top four this season. Who knows? Yeah, but I think both of those teams have very interesting parallels because both young managers, young coaches, young teams.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm really, really interested to see how that lines up. Speaking of the top four, though, we have let's talk about the FA Cup final first. We have Chelsea against Arsenal. Arsenal had the upset, and which has been a really disappointing season for them. But they might even walk out with a trophy, believe it or not. I'm sure Chelsea can be the favorites, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal beat Chelsea in the final. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be like the game of worst defenses. Like whoever has the worst defense is probably going to be the one that loses. They both have great attacking sides. Like I don't know who you guys think has a better one, but I don't know. Aubameyang's just like a certified goal scorer, so I think he could definitely put up 2 or 3 against that Chelsea defense.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see who's going to be the net for that game.
Especially with the crowded like fixture schedule that they've had and stuff, like
yeah,
it's like the 75th minute, especially in like a cup final, both teams like going for it all. If it's tied or something like that, like you're gonna have Pulisic running down one wing, Aubameyang running down the other. That's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it'll be a high-scoring game for sure.
Yeah, I actually didn't even really think about the shitty defenses and good offenses until right now. This is gonna be such a good like final.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I'm actually really excited.
I got my money on Arsenal.
Yeah, I think they're gonna pull it off too, to be honest.
August 1st. Yeah, that'll be. I mean, it's really funny how like, yeah, after all the shit Arsenal's gone through, they're gonna finish. I think this is gonna be their worst finish in the Premier League in like 20 years, or something like that. So, they're still somehow in this final. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal pull it off because
that's their tournament though, so everything always works out for them.
That's true. It's a home field advantage. That's right.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I just like the idea of one of those managers lifting the trophy for the first time. I think it's kind of cool. But personally, I don't know why, but I prefer it to be Arteta. Fuck Frank.
So Reese, let's get back to United. Had a draw against West Ham today, and the week before, 2 weeks ago, I believe, they had a late goal against Southampton, which was on the cross. set piece. I hate to bring it up, but
Yeah.
that late goal really might be the difference between you guys making Champions League and not. Because if they uh, got those 2 points, they would have a 3-point lead on Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I mean, things would obviously be a lot different right now, but it's hard to. I think it's hard to do that, and when you look at like your schedule like that, because I mean, you can go back to any point of the season and say like what could have been and stuff like that, but and like obviously that Southampton goal, like that was fucking devastating to watch that happen so late in the game, 96th minute or whatever the hell it was and stuff. But truthfully, it doesn't matter. Like we are where we are in the table, and like all that matters is the next game, and that's kind of been the attitude this whole time. And I mean, even going into this West Ham game, they had the whole weird ass dilemma. Did you guys see the weird dilemma about like United would be guaranteed top four with 2 points, but not guaranteed top four with 3 points? Did you guys see that?
no, I didn't.
What is
Okay,
what?
so going into this West Ham game, because of where they were sitting and where Leicester was at and stuff like that, if
Mhm.
so, like where that was at was like if United got 3 points today and they had beaten West Ham today, but then went into that Leicester match and then lost to Leicester, Leicester would still leapfrog, and like Leicester would beat us and stuff like that, even if we won today.
Right.
But if we get 2 points, we tie today and we tie Leicester, therefore keeping Leicester from getting points, then we're for
Yeah.
sure through. So basically, United all United has to do is just get those damn 2 points,
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
know that's such a shitty way of looking at it, but that's like kind of like the consolation thought right now, given the disappointing results. It's like, well, we're at where we are at right now, and we have an opportunity to do it. Just get that damn point.
Yeah, we can't
Mhm.
worry too much about the past.
No.
This Sunday, like you said, United Leicester is going to be a huge match. Yeah, Reese, like, what are you looking for lineup wise for Ollie to do in this massive game?
I honestly don't think there's even a decision for him. It's going to be the lineup that he was going for when it was like 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row, and we started off the restart and we started off really hot. It's going to be Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, and then Bruno Fernandes right behind him. Pogba and Matic holding the midfield down, and then the back four is going to be probably Luke Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, and Wan-Bissaka, and then obviously De Gea in the net. So I don't think he can really go wrong with that. We got people off the bench that he could still bring in, but I mean, this isn't a time to like overthink lineups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been your surefire go to win it lineup. So I think you guys don't need to switch it up.
I was gonna say if something's if creativity wise we need something in the midfield, then okay, like we got options in Mata and Fred if you need someone lying a little bit deeper and stuff. If you just need energy at the end of the game, bring on Lingard and James. If you need someone to hold the ball up, you got Igalo. Like they have plenty of options. So I'm obviously expecting a McTominay sighting on the last day of the season. Fucking hold it down. So I'm just I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? As like outsiders watching United and like tie these last few games, like what do you guys think?
Go ahead, Bob.
I don't know. I think you guys are just running out of gas late game, and just losing some focus, and every other all these teams you're playing are fighting for something too. So it's been a just rough couple games.
Yeah, obviously you guys have so much talent. You're playing well since the restart. The thing is, I feel like I know how United's going to play a lot more than I know how Leicester's going to play because Leicester, it's one of those teams where they can beat anybody, but they can also lose to anybody, especially with how they've been playing since the restart. And even before the restart, they kind of had a huge dip in their season. They were second place for most of the year, and then now they've been dropping so many points. They're fifth. So, honestly, it depends what Leicester team we're gonna get. Um, I think it worked out for you guys, like pandemic wise, because the game is in King Power Stadium, but there's no fans, there's no home field advantage really. Like obviously they're gonna be more comfortable playing at home, but it's not nearly the home field advantage that you would have, in the last final match day. That whole crowd is, knows what's at stake. Um, so honestly, this is a game that can go either way.
Yeah, I'm nervous about it. It's going to be a fun championship Sunday though, because I mean, even looking like the other side of the table, there's so many good games and stuff like that that
Mm-hmm.
anything can happen.
You have
So
Chelsea Wolves.
yeah, Chelsea Wolves, obviously everything matters there, and there's all these Europa League qualifying spots on the line, and there's just so much drama, so much shit that can happen. So
Right. Um, so just to be sure, the tiebreaker for the table is goal differential, right?
yeah, the first tiebreaker is goal differential, and then I believe it goes to goals against.
Okay. So there is a hypothetical scenario where United and Leicester draw and Chelsea lose to Wolves and Chelsea's knocked out. So you could have Leicester and United, um, or you could have obviously United Chelsea, or you could have Leicester Chelsea. So really any interesting combination that we have. Um, it would have made things even more interesting if the Wolves if they had like one or two more points. Then the then Wolves would have had a chance to be in the top four as well. And Tottenham is right there. You're talking about such a disappointing season that they've had, but at 58 points, if one or two games went their way, we could be talking about Spurs being um, in top four team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think after this next week, I think United end up getting the fourth and Chelsea take the third. Or no, United third and then Chelsea fourth.
You think,
I think Leicester's gonna be the one getting taken out.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's might take care of business against the Wolves, and yeah, obviously just knock them out. So,
and
but that'll be a story to talk about that fall that they have.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and who knows if City's ban did hold up, we could be talking about top five, top six. That'd be a lot.
But it didn't. It was all fake news.
Fake
All
news.
fake news.
Fake
But
news.
even if though, like I mean, Leicester City right now is sitting in the one Europa League spot, but Wolves might still get a Europa League spot, depending on who wins the FA Cup and stuff. So
Right, you and Sachin were talking about that. It gets really hairy if teams win the Euro.
yeah, well, because the FA Cup, the way it works is that the FA Cup will give you a berth into Europa League as well. So instead of like I believe it used to be fifth and sixth, but now it's the FA Cup and fifth place. So a lot of the times the FA Cup winner will be one of the teams in the top four. So like for example, if Chelsea finished in the top four at the end of the season and then they win the FA Cup against Arsenal, then that's two spots that they're taking out. That's a Champions League spot in the fourth place and a Europa League spot in the FA Cup. So instead, they give that FA Cup Europa League spot to the next best team in the table, which in this case, right now, today, would be Wolves. But at the end of the day, it could be Tottenham, depending on if Wolves lose and if Tottenham wins. So I mean, Tottenham are still fighting for a Europa League spot, which is pretty big for Jose, he was saying. And that's big for that club, with all the money that they've invested in that stadium, that team. And then you're talking about no European football next season. Like, that would be
Right,
pretty devastating.
especially after a Champions League final appearance last year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what it does to team morale is one thing, but what it does to ticket sales to not have Europa League, I mean, yeah, for the group matches, you're taking in some random club from Austria and stuff like that. But once you get onto the semifinals, you have chances of playing some pretty good teams. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
even
I
with
didn't even think that.
Yeah, even when it gets down to 6th and 7th, it definitely gets interesting.
Yeah,
So
Sunday's gonna be a great day for football.
yeah,
Really looking forward to that. Let's talk about the bottom of the table. We have a relegation battle as well as a promotion battle. So we have Watford and Aston Villa with 34 points apiece. Aston Villa has one more goal differential point on them. Reese, why don't you just talk about what's going on here?
yeah. So luckily for us, actually, Watford kind of made this whole conversation pretty easy by firing their manager with 2 games to go in this damn race,
Yeah.
which was incredibly stupid. Because if I can give some background on that, Nigel Pearson is like he's like known for pulling teams out of these like shitty situations and like saving teams from relegation and like all of this shit, or saving a team from the championship and bringing them back up, so he's got that reputation. So Watford were sitting 20th place at whatever point in the season. They were absolutely the worst team in the Premier League. They bring in Nigel Pearson, and all of a sudden they're sitting pretty in 17th place. They're 1 win away. They literally just need 3 points and they're clear from freaking relegation, and with 2 games to play. And they decide to fire their damn manager going into the game against Man City and Arsenal. So, of course, they lose against Man City, and Aston Villa got a very surprising win against Arsenal, 1-0, which changed everything. So now, because of goal differential, like you said earlier, Aston Villa moves out of the relegation zone, and they're tied on
Yeah.
point with Watford, but because of goal differential, they're one off better. And I don't I don't understand Watford at all, because they went ahead and, like I said, going into Man City and Arsenal, they fired their damn manager. So now they got Arsenal on Sunday, and Aston Villa have West Ham, and West Ham have absolutely nothing to fight for. So it's not looking very good for Watford. It's
And they
looking
lost their
like,
whole goal differential against us too, which was sad. I felt
yeah,
bad every time we were scoring.
but honestly, like I also like I wanted to feel bad too, Bob, but it's like they did that to themselves. This club, like
Yeah.
I feel bad for the
Watford,
players.
yeah, no, they had everything going for them, and then
Yeah,
they just decided to mess it all up. Out of
but
all these teams down here, I definitely do think they're one of the worst.
I'm glad that they're going down though, because if you look at Austin Villa, and this is their first season back in the Premier League, and they invested a lot of freaking money in their team. I think it was something like 200 million or something this offseason, and
Oh wow.
all just to get relegated again. That would have like that those are the kind of moves, those are the kind of off seasons that like completely break a club. Where Aston Villa goes from this like Premier League club slash sometimes championship club to like down in like League One, League Two, like that.
Yeah,
That's how those clubs end up there. So Aston Villa really, they might have saved themselves from a major disaster as a club, and all thanks to Watford's just absolute
that's
disaster of
awful.
a decision.
I can't believe we lost to Watford. By the way, they gave us our first loss this
Yeah,
season.
but honestly, that like at the end of the season, it's easy to say that, but with Nigel Pearson, with that team that they had, like the direction they were going, that wasn't that surprising. Like that was right in the midst of them, climbing the table and getting out of the relegation zone, and like, oh, okay, shit, like we might be all right this season. And then boom, they beat Liverpool. And it's like, okay, fuck, like what can go wrong for the relegation side now,
Right.
Well, maybe the board can fire your manager 2 games before the season ends. So
Um.
yeah, that's that.
How how about Arsenal beating Liverpool and City back-to-back games? Something I don't think we saw coming.
Speaks
Yeah,
for itself.
definitely.
Reese, did you want to talk a little bit about the Championship League?
I mean, just about we know the two teams out of the three coming up to replace
Leeds.
most likely
Who was it
Bournemouth.
again?
What was
It
that?
was Leeds. Who else?
So it's Leeds United and West Bromwich Albion
West
are
Brom.
both
Yeah.
coming back for sure. And I guess the only thing to really highlight, I mean, West Brom's back. For a lot of people, that's a familiar name because they were just in the Premier League a couple years ago. But for Leeds United, that is kind of a new one, but a big one because the season before the Premier League even started, I believe the season before the Premier League started, Leeds United won the league. They were first place in the top division, beat out Manchester United, beat out Chelsea. And going into the Premier League, they were one of the best teams and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden they get relegated and they're down there for 16 years. You know, it was pretty much a disaster. It was almost as if like an Arsenal, like this season, you know, as if Arteta didn't save them and they go all the way down to the bottom and they stay down there for 16 years, you know. Like that's a situation that we can't even fathom right now. But that happened to this team, like if you ask Leeds United supporters, their biggest rivals are Manchester United and Chelsea. So this isn't some small club, and to finally have them back in the Premier League, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the playoffs.
Yeah,
that should be fun.
Yeah, playoffs are going to be interesting too because at Brentford they were the surprising team all season, and they're kind of like a small club. Like when you watch games at their stadium, they got, you know, you could see the top of the stands and stuff like that. So
how does the playoffs work exactly? Is it a single elimination?
No, so it's 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, and the first round is home and away, and then the winner of that goes to a winner takes all, like one game final at Wembley.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. And that winner take all, that is football drama at like the highest level, you know, like
I remember watching it last year. Yep.
Oh God, I love it. I cannot wait.
So before we wrap it up, we'd like to have a little Ballon d'Or conversation because it was canceled this year because of Corona. So I put together a little list of 7 players that I thought would make the short list. You guys tell me who'd you have off, who'd you have on. So in not any particular order, I have. Oh yeah, I can share my screen.
Yeah, that would be a lot easier instead of just listing them, making me remember.
So I don't got a memory like that, so.
So right here, take a look. I have these 7 players.
Is this in order?
No order.
Oh, thank God! I was gonna roast you. No, I'm just kidding.
Pretty accurate, actually.
I was gonna say, I actually, even if it was in order, I don't think that I would have too much of an issue. For the record, can I name the players that you have, Dev?
Yeah, please.
Can I do the honor?
I mean, I'm gonna post it on YouTube anyway.
Okay, all right. So top to bottom, we got, and I think this is unanimous, the players that were in the conversation was obviously Messi, Lewandowski with the incredible season that he's had, KDB, almost getting to, is he at 20 assists, Bob? Or he's right there.
He's one shy. He's at 19.
By the way, Sterling really doesn't want De Bruyne to get 20 assists, huh?
He doesn't. The whole team doesn't. He should have like 30 by now.
They're just playing him, man.
Yeah.
And then Neymar, Dev obviously threw in his little Liverpool duo of Van Dijk and Mane, and then of course Le Gote, Cristiano Ronaldo.
So
is that a word?
Like, you know, part of me wanted to put Van Dijk, Mane, and Salah, but I know I would hear about that. That's too much homerism. But I had to choose between Mane and Salah. I chose Mane because I think he's been more consistent this year.
Truthfully, I think it would be hard to make a case for Van Dijk this year. I think it would be easier to make the case for Salah with his goal tally.
Yeah. You know, I think Van Dijk, like, he's kind of had the LeBron treatment, really, in the sense that he's just so consistently good that people just don't really talk about him anymore. You know.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I will say though, since we've clinched the title, he hasn't been playing his best. But I mean, these last couple of games, I don't think they really count.
Yeah.
in the Ballon d'Or
Yeah.
race. For really
I wouldn't think that he would be judged on that, but I'm just like I think just as a center defender, like he got the recognition he deserved last year, and I'm glad that he did. But I think it's just hard to make the case for him this year. I don't know. I mean, leading obviously being with Liverpool in the title and stuff like that. But just for me personally, I just feel like it's just hard to get a center back up on that list most of the time, you know. And unless they have like some absolutely incredible year, like the year he had last season, it's just hard to get them that high up the list. And
right.
what was your reasoning for Salah over Mane? Just out of curiosity, I know it doesn't really matter because they're down the list, but
I was looking at the numbers, and numbers wise, Salah has a better season, I believe. Only De Bruyne has more goals plus assists, in the Premier League. So he's had a really good season, but at the same time, I feel like his finishing, like just from the eye test, his finishing hasn't really been there this season. Not as good as compared to last year, the years before. There have been moments where I feel like he should have passed the ball, and that would have led to goals. That he's done. But when you get to a list like this of the best players in the world, you really start nitpicking. Um, so he's had a great season for sure. I just think Mane has been more consistent, and I look at it from the perspective that when you have a defense, like let's say you're preparing to play against Liverpool, I think you're looking at Mane more than Salah, at least this season.
yeah. I think you kind of nailed it on the head with the consistency thing, and like you said, the what'd you say about Salah? Like sometimes he should have passed, but he shoots or something like that. You
Yeah, there's
know?
been a couple times where like he takes an extra touch when he could have
Yeah,
passed, or he shoots.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like building on that, and like this is just from like an outsider's perspective, and I've always loved Mo Salah and like everything that he's done on the pitch. Like this guy has not even. I don't even think this guy's unlocked his full potential yet. You know, like I don't think he's at his peak. Like he might have hit it and he might never get there and stuff like that. But if this guy can learn how to like balance like his eye for goal and his ability to distribute like perfectly, like holy fuck. This guy can have the season he had where he was scoring like was it how many goals did he have in the Premier League? Didn't he have 30?
Yeah, I think he had 30.
I think he had like out of total games, he had like 45.
Yeah, I was gonna say he broke the Premier League record with 30, total games 45. But then if you look at his assists, I don't know, and I'm just literally going off my ass right now. I'm not sure if his assists were that great that year. But since then, he's really developed as like a playmaker also, you know, where he wasn't just this pure goal scorer per se. And like I don't know if we've seen his season where he's gonna have that best, like you said, the goal and assist tally, you know?
Yeah.
So like
I
Salah,
think
like
teams. Sorry, I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off, but I
No,
think
go ahead,
teams
go ahead.
really play for that, and like they have a lot of game film on Salah, especially after what he did at that first season when he came to Liverpool.
Yeah.
So he just gets. I mean, they have so much film on him. He gets that full treatment from the defense. I think Mane is the perfect like I don't know backdoor like outing for that after Firmino and Salah. Mane's been.
So he had 32 goals, 10 assists that season, which that was just a ridiculous season. He had more assists that year than he does in the last 2 years.
That's actually his highest assist total too, huh? Yeah. So like I said, speaking out of my ass on that one, but he like I still like as you said, when you're watching Mo Salah and stuff like that, like just from the eye test, he wasn't at his best this season. Although the stats would say that he was a lot better than Mane, you know. But Mane is like just where he's at, like where his talent level's at and stuff like that. He just knows how to deliver, you know.
Right. I think this season he's brought more fear into the eyes of defenders, and he really found like his groove.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I said, you're nitpicking when you get to players of this level.
Yeah. But this is all just to distract from the point that Lewandowski got absolutely fucking robbed.
Yeah, dude, that's just that's
I feel I
sad.
feel I feel really bad for the guy.
You know, yeah, I mean, he's had an absolutely incredible season, as Bayern have had.
Goal
Um,
machine.
and this isn't the first time he's kind of been screwed out, right? There was an instance before where he probably should have won, but he didn't get the votes.
I think this is this was his most clear year that he should have won. Even with KDB having the year that he did, he was just on a tear the whole season. No one could stop him.
And kind of like we saw with Luca. I mean, I don't want to take away from Luca's season that he had and stuff like that, but all that vote told me was that the voters are ready to overlook Messi and Ronaldo's stats. You know, like they're so used to them that they're like, okay, like on to the next at this point. And although Messi has had a great season statistically and stuff like that, I think that lacking the trophies and stuff. And I mean, Lewandowski, he's got the stats to back it up. He's got the trophies to back it up. He's got the consistency to back it up. There's been no disappointment surrounding him whatsoever this season. So it's like, I don't know what would have stopped him from winning that award. So
34 goals in the Bundesliga, 11 goals in the Champions League in 6 games.
I think he's the highest goal scorer in both competitions. Maybe not Champions League. He might be up there though.
11 goals in Champions League. I'd be really curious to see who's number one if it's not him. Let's find that out right now. But yeah, just like you said, just an incredible season from him, and he's had 11 goals in Champions League, and he still has like what 3-4 more games left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lewandowski has 11, Haaland has 10. So, my vote would definitely go to Lewan. If I had to vote the top three, I think I would go Lewan, Messi, and Neymar, because Neymar's had a really good season too. I think he's quietly had a really good season. We haven't really talked about
the snub KDB like that.
I was gonna say I would think
He's about to break the assist record in the Premier League.
Yeah, I was gonna say just because the leagues and I don't. Oh, dude, no, Bob, it's the fucking Ballon d'Or. You guys realize what the Ballon d'Or is, right?
It's the French trophy, right?
It's a French magazine that just started rating these fucking soccer players way back in the day, and everyone was like, "Hey, yeah, let's fucking show these fucking dudes." And now the fucking French people just control everything. So don't trust the fucking French, guys.
It's definitely going to Neymar then.
Oh, I hope we don't have any French followers.
Yeah, guys, if we have any French listeners, I was saying that just for the theatrics. I'm
sorry. Look, Bob. Obviously, De Bruyne has an amazing season. He hasn't broke the assist record yet, And like I said, we're nitpicking at this point. We're talking about great players.
So why do you think Neymar had a better season than Kevin De Bruyne? I don't understand.
It would just depend on Champions League. I think whoever pushed their team further in Champions League would get a little bit more of a nod.
Yeah, I feel like Champions League would definitely be my tiebreaker for sure.
But given that none of it's going on, given that you would just have to like judge them on the seasons that they've had, like.
Bob, let me ask you this: like, wouldn't you agree that Neymar is the more all-around complete player?
No.
No?
He's more of, obviously he's an attacker, but Kevin De Bruyne's a midfielder. He does more.
Okay, no. But taking position out of it. Wait, Dev, what was your question specifically?
Yeah, that
say it again. Say it again.
I was saying, well, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it, Bob, would you agree? But I'm just going to say that I believe that Neymar's a more all-around complete player than De Bruyne.
All around, so you think Neymar is a more complete forward, complete winger than De Bruyne is a complete midfielder?
Yeah, because, okay, let's say I give, you could give the slight nod to De Bruyne being a better passer. Neymar is, obviously a great passer in his right. One of the best passers in the world. I think Neymar's goal scoring abilities. He's such a great goal scorer. I think I put him a tick above De Bruyne.
I was gonna say, but if you look at their positions, I mean, Neymar doesn't have to be as good as a passer. He doesn't necessarily unless that's his
Yeah,
game, which it isn't.
And if we're talking about from the spot, De Bruyne is definitely probably. I know Neymar is good, like one of the best free kick shooters, but De Bruyne has been on a tear this year from the spot. So
it's hard to compare them given obviously the lack in
okay,
position.
yeah, and another thing is we could look at who's who has the more talent, but who's playing better. That's a different question.
Who means more to their team?
That's not even close.
Take Man City's starting lineup and take PSG's starting lineup in FIFA. No, disappear Neymar from the equation. Disappear De Bruyne from the equation. Which team is worse off?
I mean, Man City has so much depth. I think they obviously hurt.
I'm not talking about who you can replace them with, though. I'm talking about the actual player and the lack of what De Bruyne.
Think about how many goals De Bruyne creates.
If PSG had freaking Marcus Rashford on the bench, or they had Raheem Sterling on the bench, or something like that, then tell me which team's missing more.
What records is Neymar breaking this year in the trash league that he's in?
Flops.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, looks like we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Sure, dog.
I just think given the season, I think Neymar is gonna. I hate doing this. I'm such a give everyone a fucking trophy guy sometimes. But honestly, given the season that KDB's had, I just think that he deserves it a little bit more, and Neymar will have his chance to be back.
So Rees, you believe KDB is the third best player in the world right now?
I think that if Ballon d'Or, if they were we're going to judge it off of everything that's happened to today, literally right, to this very moment that we're speaking of today, I think that it would be Lewandowski, Messi, KDB, Neymar, Ronaldo. Actually, honestly, yeah, Neymar and Ronaldo would round out the top five, and I'm not sure in which way.
Okay.
But Ronaldo would get the votes because of what he did in Serie A, and I mean they're still fighting in Champions League. So,
I mean, okay, obviously, De Bruyne has an amazing season, but maybe the French league gets a little too disrespected. Something that people don't really pay attention to.
Dev, I've heard you call them the Farmers League all the time.
I don't call it the Farmers League.
Hey, Dev, look at them in Champions League. Can you blame it for being disrespected? They don't show up in Champions League every single time.
They've had some really bad chokes for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how they do this year. But I don't have any problem with anyone saying that one is better than the other.
Oh no, I'm not saying that either.
I have no dog in this fight.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily saying oh, you're fucking stupid if you think Neymar's better or anything. I just, like I said, everybody deserves a trophy. I think KDB deserves it. So.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if he could break the assist record. How many more does he have left? Just one more? Two more?
Do you think?
Just one more to tie it.
Because Henry got 20, right? And he's the record.
Yeah, and he's at 19. De Bruyne.
Who do they play next weekend?
Norwich.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That's the only game on Championship Sunday that means absolutely nothing to both teams. Neither one of them can move up or down in the table.
What do you mean it means absolutely nothing? De Bruyne is about to break the assist record. Probably never be broken again.
To both teams. I don't know about individual players on those teams. Even on Norwich City, if you think about it, a lot of those players are Norwich City, Bournemouth, these clubs who are for sure going down. A lot of those players are fighting to prove that they belong in the Premier League and who can go off and pick them up, Mm-hmm. So this Todd Cantwell guy, I keep watching him because I think somebody's gonna come in and scoop him up and from Norwich City. And I don't know. It would be kind of fun to see him like do something crazy against Man City on the last day, and then everyone's like, "All right, yeah, this guy belongs in the Premier League."
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, that'd be
Wouldn't
cool.
even lie.
That would be cool. It's one of those stories that we would like when we see him playing for like Tottenham one day or something. We'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember when that guy barely fucking made it here." You know?
Just looking at this list, I think Song Min has quietly had a really good season. He's had 10 assists, 11 goals. Obviously Spurs have had a disappointing year, but I think he's one of the more underrated players in the world. Just taking a look here.
One of my favorite players, honestly.
So yeah.
I love watching him play.
You got Bruno with 7 assists, playing like half the season.
Yeah, I
Pretty impressive.
can't wait till next season. Next season's gonna be really interesting in the Premier League because I think you really are gonna have like four teams like battling it out. Like every single time Chelsea comes up against Liverpool, I think it's gonna be all right, who the fuck's gonna win this? You know, whereas this season I think we kinda knew that like Liverpool was gonna blow them out of the water, you know?
Yeah, next season should really be interesting because you know you like you said you have the four teams, the two young teams, and then City and Liverpool. But you're also gonna have, in my opinion, there's Leicester's still gonna be there. They're consistently
Mhm.
good. They have like a good foundation. Who knows how the Spurs are gonna look like next year?
Yeah.
They have so much talent, so much money. Some one or two signings, and they could be up there competing for a spot.
And then Arsenal.
Especially with Mourinho, he might, the mad scientist that he is, he might be able to figure some things out. Arsenal. But yeah, so next year should be really interesting, and who's gonna be fighting for the Champions League spots.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun one. We got to get through this season first, though. Sunday
Yeah,
can't come
true.
soon enough.
Sunday.
Hey, if you guys are truly my friend, you will not text me Sunday until like 10:30, 10:45, just to let me just brew in whatever fucking emotions I'm brewing in at the moment. You know, like I'm like turning my phone on do not
uh,
disturb, and I'm not texting that fucking group message whatsoever.
we'll see about that, Reese. We'll see. We're
Yeah.
probably gonna get a text from you.
Until we go up 3-0 in the first half. No, I'm not. I'm not fucking saying any of that shit.
Oh man, if there's like a Greenwood goal, a Rashford goal, you're gonna want to just be hype on that.
But it's gonna be such a nervous day that I'm not like any goal that goes in. I'm just gonna be like, no, we got 63 minutes left. We got like no, we got 16 minutes left to close this one out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to celebrate anything.
Definitely gonna be a nervous day for you.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
Cannot
it's
wait.
gonna be a great day of
But
football.
wait, you guys didn't really give your Ballon d'Or thing.
No, I said mine was the top three. Those
Your
are,
yours yours is the same thing that I said, right?
yeah, that rounded out perfect.
Dev's gonna sneak in Neymar like a fucking bitch.
Just to annoy us a little bit.
Yeah, just to piss us off.
I want to talk about Barca for a second because of the disappointing season that they've had. And because I've been following them because obviously Messi is Messi. But it looks like there's a lot of issues going on over there. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up, but they fired their manager, replaced Valverde, and it looks like that was a bad decision because they went from you know average Barca team to just a bad Barca team. You guys have any thoughts on their future?
Uh, I don't know. They're definitely in a rebuild phase, and they're definitely going to go crazy this summer and trying to get people. Apparently, they want to do a swap with City for Garcia, to get like a young center back in their works. So, I mean, they're definitely going to do a lot this transfer window. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, judging by all the transfer rumors, I think it's going to be an interesting one because they're just passing people around all willy nilly right now. But I think the whole thing with Messi, like getting all pissed off at the board and stuff like that, like wasn't he kind of like making noise? Where he was, I don't know, he was doing something with the board where he was basically upset with like what was going on. So I think that would be kind of interesting because if he's not happy with them firing Valverde and then moving on to this next guy, and I don't know,
Hmm.
I think what Messi says, Messi gets. So it might be another change this offseason. Might try to ride with the guy. I don't fucking know. You would probably know better than I would, Dev.
Yeah. It's just such a weird season for them because, it seems like in the past 3 4 years, all their signings have just been flops. You would assume someone like Griezmann, you'd bring him in, he'd obviously fit, but it's been the opposite. Their young players have actually been playing better, like Puig have been playing better
Hmm.
than their stars. Their big signings. So a really interesting time for Barcelona because they're really looking at a future like in AC Milan or no disrespect, but like a United team or like a very storied historic team just kind of falls off.
Damn.
Okay,
That
Dev.
one hurt,
I,
Dev. That one got me.
I said
Got
AC,
that one all the way with
I
the
said
face.
AC a lot.
It's funny. We're a United team that fell off, but y'all still couldn't beat us this year, right?
We won the second game.
So yeah, took a last minute winner, right?
Look, I said no.
Greatest ever, right, Dev?
I was trying to say an analogy. Okay, what are some other teams
Keep it
that
at AC Milan next time, bitch.
Wow, that one hurt deep. Huh?
Yeah,
But anyways, they're looking at a Barca team to really fall out of because what happens when Messi retires? They don't really have something set up for the future. Um, so they're really looking at a situation where they could be irrelevant, which is really impossible to believe because they dominated the last decade, right? They were arguably the best team in football. Save Madrid had like what 4 or 5 Champions League titles, but Barca had a treble. They dominated just as much.
I mean,
I think they'll do what they have to do to get back in shape though for next season. I mean they just fell off. They're set to. I mean before the COVID happened, they're set to win the title, and that kind of really screwed them up. So I think they'll figure it out.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard. Like, I hope that they figure it out, but I feel like they're running out of time. Like they're running out of time with Messi. So,
yeah.
but
Messi still has 3 years, and Suarez is still in form. I mean,
they have so much talent there that there's. I mean,
Barca.
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting offseason for them.
Very
Um,
interesting.
so yeah, I think we touched on everything that we wanted to. Anything else you guys wanted to talk about before we wrap things up?
No, that's pretty much everything.
It's we got one more week, and then Premier League is done till when?
Gosh,
Till October, right?
I was gonna say I don't even know when the new
'Cause
season's
it's like a
supposed to
short
start.
season, short summer or something.
I've been so focused on this season. Is the next one supposed to start in October? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's supposed to be like a short,
it
short
says
off
according
season.
to Wikipedia, it says September 12th.
Oh wow, that's very
Same
short.
thing. Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
that'll be interesting.
very very short.
We're like soccer reporters, and we don't even know what's going
I
on.
was gonna say we're trying to tell the people the news. Like, oh fuck, that's news.
Well, you're hearing it live. There you go.
Yeah, you heard it here first, people. Even though it was reported 10 days ago. um,
Yeah. So I guess that transfer window is going to be extremely short then, like a 2 week thing.
that's why everything's been confusing me with all these players coming in. And like I'm waiting for freaking Chelsea just to sub on Timo Werner, and like it just like
Yeah,
nobody
when is
know, like,
he?
wait, is this fucking legal? Like,
Right, when is he gonna come off the plane? He's been flying for weeks.
I know,
Like
not.
right here, just
Oh yeah,
There you go.
damn. So that'll be yeah, because it's normally in August, so that's got to be the new updated one.
mhm.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, I think I was talking to you guys about this. We got back-to-back soccer. We got this season's gonna run right into the next season, and then right when that season's done, we got the Euros. And then right when the Euros finish, you got a short little break, and then you got the Premier League season, the club season again, and then right when that's done, or I think we have an actual off season, and then in the middle of the season after that, you have the World Cup. In
Right.
the middle of the club season, freaking whack jobs. But so yeah, we got like nonstop soccer until the World Cup. So
So that means more content for our viewers.
More content.
with the
Yeah,
most unenthusiastic point.
we'll be here. We won't disappoint you guys. We'll keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on. And who knows, we might actually do a pod in person at some point in the next 3-4
Don't count
years.
on it. Don't count on it.
Stay
Even though I was
safe.
at Dev's house last week for
Yeah,
the last one.
Yeah, even though we were we were practicing social distancing.
But
No, that's what.
Bob quarantined for 2 weeks afterwards. So
Yeah, I'm still quarantining actually.
All right, yeah. Like, thank you guys for listening to the show. You can remember to catch us on all of our social pages. DJ Sports Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Reach us for questions at our email, djsportspod@gmail.com. We'll chat to you guys next time. And Reese, Bob, thanks for all always. Appreciate it.
thanks for having us, man.
Yep.